are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, Ulti.TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
fund
our
our
work
work.
to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
We are Hive Ultimate, a group of players and coaches from all over the world working together to progress the next generation of Ultimate strategy. We've helped top teams win world championships and new teams introduce the sport in a fun and inclusive way. Search for Hive Ultimate on YouTube to learn more about our cutting-edge strategies and to see analysis of world-class teams. To find out what Hive can do for your team, head over to our Patreon page where you can gain access to our exclusive drills and session plans and to join our worldwide community of coaches. Get ahead of the curve with Hive Ultimate.
Enjoying the show? Show your support for the live stream and the people making the show. Buy a super chat or super sticker on YouTube directly. Select your donation and type your message to the world. And share. All donations go into directly funding new shows. Buy a super sticker or super chat now. Thank you.
The ultimate things in life are free, and we're keeping it that way. Subscribe to keep up with the latest games, tournaments, and community content. Share it with your team and friends, and drop a like to help spread Ultimate to more people. Spread the word, spread the love. Ulti.TV.
We believe mixed is the best for the sport, for the world. That's why we're making a global showcase, starting in Europe, made in Amsterdam. Ulti-League. Ulti.net.
Help Electric, become a member.
All right. A little something special for the WGGBMUCC. It's a lyrical sculpture in the sand that I carve. This is Flash on the mic, now on the Algarve. From 40 to 60, we are on the attack. If I can just get some vitamin I from my back. Foot on the line, yeah, I'm ready to go. Or did I just pull a muscle? Hold on for a moment. Play it cool, just act like I'm young. Got flicks on my wrist and lyrics on my tongue. 10 more years left to go. Tricks from the past and a buttery flow. A little slow off the start, I like to call my speed brisk. The sunshine glints off my slow-moving disc. You know how it goes with the sand between my toes. I got none of the pivots, but all the throws. Yeah, I got some dodgy knees. Disc in my hand and the sun in the sky. My dad bod goes jiggle and my hucks they fly. My spirits are rising like a disc on the breeze, going miles out of bounds to the Portuguese seas. I played a point, yeah, I need a sub and a good long soak in an XL tub. Don't need to run anymore, I'm one of 14 handlers. Happy Gilmore this disc like we're all Adam Sandlers. I'm slow off the start, I like to call it brisk. The sunshine glints on my slow-moving disc. You know how it goes with the sand between my toes. We got none of the pivots, but all the throws. Alright, let's finish this off. My 6'2" still works in the bar. I can see from miles. Got drinks on my radar. Portimão party is the place we flee for the friends we see and these great memories. Yeah, I feel the spirit as I pull every sinew. Shatter my knees, yet we're gonna continue. Take this hand, better yet carry me from the beach to the bar, better yet to the sea. I'm slow off the start. I like to call my speed brisk. The sunshine glints off my slow-moving disc. You know how it goes with the sand between our toes. We got none of the pivots, but all of the throws.
Welcome back to the World Great Grandmasters Beach Ultimate Club Championships 2022, and we are in the business end of this loose mixed division. It is semi-finals in front of us, and we have Young Legends of Germany versus Man Down of the USA. Some San Franciscan flavor coming out of North America for your delectation today. Myself, Hannah Penderbury, alongside the inimitable Benji Rees on the call, leading you, comparing you through this matchup between these two talented squads.
I'm excited. Two big teams, as you can see there from the rosters, utilising the full depth of 20 to get here, and both of them had to really battle through their quarterfinals. For the Young Legends, they are up 12-9 on the Rainbow Warriors, who closed it to 12 apiece before the Young Legends were able to sneak the win in Universe. For Man Down, they were down 7-5 to Team Finland, but managed to get a 4-point roll at the end to take a 9-7 victory and take out this semi-final matchup today.
Well, that always creates an interesting dynamic, Benji, when you have one team that's had to surmount a huge comeback in order to sort of tussle their way through, but both sides having to surmount their opponents and overcome deficits to advance to this semi-final stage. Of course, Rainbow Warriors having taken that upset to see themselves on the side of the bracket against Team America, who were a bit salty to be seeing their opponents from Houston, Notsu-O, who they bested 8-10. The other side of this bracket, of course, will be Hurt versus Team America. So we're guaranteed at least one American team in the finals here. And a little sign there, throwing some love back home for Man Down, who are 2 players down versus who they should have had. They had their heart in the form of Stephen Labonge, who's missing, and Colin Smith, the missing soul of this Man Down side. So hopefully they can come back after those 2 personnel not able to be here, Benji, out on the sands in Praia da Rocha, Portimão.
Yeah, despite those big losses, they've still got a very strong roster. Undefeated on the tournament. Young Legends, however, picked up a loss early on in a game that we streamed 11-5 to Notsu-O, but have picked themselves up since then and have a chance now in the semi-final to try and qualify for the final and maybe go one better than the silver medal they took on the sands of Villasimius in Sardinia last year.
Well, getting us underway, Klaus Schunk, Pirelli as he's known, with the disc in hand, has Achenbach going deep. Chooses the under on the far sideline to Vettel. High launch down the far sideline. Lots of zest on that to Iman. She's going to put one into the space, but overthrows Achenbach, and we have our first turnover of the game nice and early.
Yeah, I think it's Sandra Zormeyer on the far side, actually. Sees the look that she likes, but just doesn't quite get the finesse on it required.
Oh, eagle-eyed as ever, Benji. But Man Down first opportunity to take a break. Shooting downwind, and they shoot to Fraser, but can't quite connect. That one sailing over Travis's head.
Yeah, cleanly Man Down. Goal in mind, stretch the field here, give yourself more room to work with. Constantly put that threat of the deep option in Young Legends' minds. But Joey, as they call him, Phil Stewart, couldn't bring it in. Again, quite take the edge off it.
Indeed, and Travis Fraser's someone who's familiar with throwing himself around. His other sport he does is Masters Cyclocross. I don't know if you've ever watched Cyclocross, Benji, but it's mental.
What's Cyclocross?
It's where basically you do an assault course on a bicycle.
Oh my God. Why?
Because why not?
Fair enough. Yeah, I can't argue with that.
So, Young Legends with the disc in hand. It's back with Schunk. A high floaty one into space for Achenbach. Well taken. Fatal is going to put it deep into the zone, but that's going to sail out of bounds. There's a thought about going for the greatest in the mind of Klaus Schrunk, but that is not to be. And another turn.
Yeah, both sides, it feels like finding their range here. Obviously, you practice your throwing in the warm-up, you do your drills, but it's a little bit different when you get into that game action and the forces just feel a little bit tighter. The defense is a little bit more oppressive.
Well, and we're hoping for some tussles at the top here of this championship bracket. Man down, bring us back in play. Being squeezed on that corner. Not really much movement from the dump space, but he eventually punches through and punches it deep. Can he connect? Oh, just fingertips reaching, flailing around. Travis Frazier, again, the intended target for man down, but Mark Pletcher unable to put the touch on that throw going downwind.
Yeah, you could hear him under his breath, really willing the receiver to get there, but it's just too far out in front. Doesn't quite get that curve on it to bring it back.
Oh, Pletcher playing mixed ultimate with That's What She Said, one of my favorite team names I think I've ever seen. All the way from 1996 till now.
So their disc did not come back in bounds, so good field position here for the young legends.
Christoph Butcher going to be threatening that inside break channel to begin with, I suspect, looking at the position of his teammates. No, just goes for the huck over the head of the face mark. But Appleyard there able to turn himself around and put the block on Achenbach.
Yeah, just clearly putting the faith in his receiver there for Achenbach to go up and get it. But as you mentioned, Appleyard had good position.
Cash in. Puts a stretching one, and again, I think that's another overthrow trying to find Frazier. Don't know, maybe it's Frazier that's not quite as speedy this morning as his teammates expect him to be.
No, I wondered if there was going to be a little bit of discussion there about a call potentially, but you could see hand signal indicating that it is a turnover.
Schunk across, thinks about a creative break option to Rudiger Vital, but unfortunately that one is a miscommunication.
Vital in all sorts of space on the break side, but just did not have eye contact with Schunk at all. Clearly not expecting that one to come up.
Oh, but the hand block gets it back. Fatal finding some form. And that's going to be a goal for sure. No, not quite on the tape. Doesn't even stand up, just immediately goes to pop the disc in the path of Santa Sormaya. And that is the first goal at long last after a bit of a grindy opener. It's Young Legends first on the board with the hold.
4 turns aside, clearly slightly attritional. But even though they didn't get the break there, man down, I think you can say that's a win. You turned the strong Young Legends O-line over 4 times on the first point. You'd think that would probably bode well for upcoming possessions.
Absolutely. If you can make an O-line sit out here on the field for such a long time, another look at that fantastic hand block from Fatal.
Yeah, really making amends for that miscommunication with Pirelli in the backfield. Is there not a German tyre manufacturer they could have called him?
Sorry, I missed what you said there, Benji.
Pirelli, right, they're an Italian tyre manufacturer.
Oh, a German tyre.
Yes.
I thought you said a German timer.
Oh, sorry, right, okay, yes.
No, it has indeed been a long week. We've been having a lovely schedule of 4 games per day, 2 matches in the morning, 2 in the afternoon. Of course, the team's playing 2 games per day. A nice leisurely schedule for these great Grandmasters teams, allowing them to show us their top end of dynamism and speed out here on these lovely sandy pitches. Inside shot from Masket. A little bit of a waiter for that one, but comes through is Middlebrook. No. Oh, the low reacher. Masket to Noonan. Oh, great effort in the center of the field from Iman to try and get the layout poach block. But comes up empty-handed. Noonan dishes. Oh, and it's Sandwich with Noonan bread. And what was the filling, Benji?
Jim Middlebrook. One apiece. Nice clean hold there from man down. Again, Young Legends, they created bid opportunities for themselves, especially that one there from Iman, just sitting off a little bit, trying to clog that lane downfield, coming so close to getting it as well, but taking advantage of the defender out of position. There's Daryl Noonan inside, and then Middlebrook, you see there, has that separation, does Leanne Noonan, because of the bid earlier from Iman. It's that risk reward. If you get there, obviously you get the block, give yourself the break opportunity, but if you don't get there, you do give the opportunity for the receiver to capitalize.
Well, Leanne Noonan went off to the races and claimed her first goal of this game, and the assist from Jim Middlebrook, originally hailing from Hawaii, and has been playing for Condors, Beyondors and Relics in his club career.
Beyondors, by the way, another great Masters team name.
Absolutely. And he's a surfer, so perhaps he'll be catching some waves if he extends his break here. Of course, Portugal known for really big waves out on the west coast behind that sandbar. But Young Legends looking for hopefully a cleaner hold this time. Achenbach going to work isolated in the centre of the pitch. Got a long sleeve under his cut-off jersey. He's going to have to just chuck it and hope into the deep space. There's big pressure underneath it and just about finds the hands of Rudiger Weitel.
Not quite how they drew it up, but it worked anyway. There's a player down on the floor, so I don't think this will hold up.
Yeah, Claudia Hermeking going in and attacking the end zone, but that one's going to be rollback VT. But a little bit of luck for Young Legends after a high stall bail throw from Achenbach, just finds the space deep. Again, it's an action replay. Claudia Hermeking reeling in the goal, and that's a much better hold for Young Legends in terms of the lack of turnovers, Benji, but that was a bit dicey.
There was yeah, a little bit of heat in that one. You have to say that Young Legends have not looked their free-flowing best, putting up not necessarily a 50-50, but certainly a sky ball, so to speak.
A hospital pass, as we lovingly refer them. And we're getting a little bit of fans in the Oust action. Best before there, having claimed their first win of the tournament, enjoying the rare glimpse of sunshine here in Portimão. This World Championships has been littered with some inclement weather, Benji, to say it nicely.
Yeah, there was, and there's no such thing as a commentator's curse, so I'm going to say it anyway. Potential for thunderstorms today. If there are any changes to the schedule, we will of course communicate that to you. But so far, looks like we're getting away with it.
Indeed, it's still on the forecast that the thunderbolts and lightning, very, very frightening, may appear. It's almost like the gods of Ultimate are just big fans of thunder. We throw hammers, they throw rain and lightning. But some great grindy match defense out here from Young Legends, pinning man down into just taking resets. That was a teeny bit hasty, but well collected behind the back. Into the space for Noonan. That 00 shirt on his back. Do love the Noonan's choice of 00 and 0.
I mean, I like the coordination. I have issues generally with people wearing 0s or 00s, but I must admit, I like that they're on the same page.
Literally, they sit next to each other on the roster. A nice shot of the blonde frosted tips, a very 90s boy band look there for Mrs. Noonan. A reaching backhand. Oh, I tell you what, there might have been an opportunity there for Harris Musket to redeem that one, but there were way too many Young Legends players hanging around in that deep space. But an overshoot. You see the dismay there on the face of Kevin Reardon, just puts his hands out to the side and glumly at the floor. So man down, giving a bit of relief. The Noonan connection anchoring the offense at the back, but a foul call centre field.
violation.
Just a bit of discussion as to the allocation of space when the foul occurred. Kevin Reardon, the solar astrophysicist, paid to stare at the sun, and now going to stare down the back.
As that pick, I think you could see coming quite a long way away.
You know what, I've just realised, Benji, I was looking at the wrong 71. That's not Kevin Reardon at all, which is why I was a bit confused to see he's from the US. That's Tim Kolstad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one a little bit low.
Yep, just out of reach. And Kolstad will go and pick up. Can he keep it error-free this time? Yep, swings across nicely. Good movement. Feldner pops. Looking all the way around is Logan. Kolstad coming through. Hoogtmeyer. Back to Kolstad again. Inside flick break. Can't quite find the immediate continuation. Going to have to holster it. Feldner resets. Looking for that dish, having to work hard, running it down, opening up the hips is Feldner. Oh, Feldner shoots, but that's going to be way too far. A great effort for Anne-Katrin Hoogtmeyer to try and collect, but it's just going to sail past her.
It is a spicy shot that's really fired and zinged across the end zone. Here was the turnover, that pass a little bit too low from Maskett.
We're getting another long old point, 2 turnovers apiece so far.
It's an ambitious option, I don't hate it, but such was the pace that it was fired in, did not give Hoogtmeyer a really good shot at it.
Yeah, it's a much harder short throw to execute that inside flick. Perhaps a step around for a softer backhand might have been a better option, but the forces of man down are hard to overcome. Coming in is Middlebrook. Doesn't like the option, gonna have to try and squeak something down the sideline. Time and space for Middlebrook. Oh, and that's gonna be overshot. Such a wasted opportunity. Nobody anywhere near Joseph Feinstein.
I was really surprised when the defender came up to try and get a shot at that, because I thought that was always gonna be Middlebrook's disc, and it did leave the receiver streaking free towards the end zone, but as you mentioned, Force did a good enough job having got there to stop that going deep with any real purpose.
Trying for the inside break, taking the harder option. Would have been nice to see him step around, but the layout defense generates the turnover in the center of the pitch. Noonan picking up lefty backhand dish like that, Middlebrook.
Yeah, just taking advantage of the defender, keeping their eyes away and getting that to the break side nice and early.
Oh, but throwing to absolutely nobody in the end. I think that might have been intended for Harris Maskett. And shout out to the Maskett family watching. Serena, Reggie and Delilah back home as we see a timeout being called by Young Legends, and I like that.
Yeah, it's got slightly more agricultural than I think both teams would have liked. So just take the opportunity here. You know, reset yourself, get to say, okay, we'll put all the cluttering and clustering and mistakes behind us, and we'll start again from scratch here after the timeout.
Well, we're also going to take a little bit of a restart here in the booth, but we'll be back with the action of this first half after these messages.
We believe mixed is the best for the sport, for the world. That's why we're making a global showcase. Starting in Europe, made in Amsterdam. Ulti.TV. Ulti.net.
We are Hive Ultimate, a group of players and coaches from all over the world working together to progress the next generation of Ultimate strategy. We've helped top teams win world championships and new teams introduce the sport in a fun and inclusive way. Search for Hive Ultimate on YouTube to learn more about our cutting-edge strategies and to see analysis of world-class teams. To find out what Hive can do for your team, head over to our Patreon page where you can gain access to our exclusive drills and session plans and to join our worldwide community of coaches. Get ahead of the curve with Hive Ultimate.
Welcome back to the first half of semi-finals here at the World Great Grandmasters Beach Ultimate Club Championships 2022. Myself, Hannah Penderbury, alongside Benji Rees on the call as we see a rather long, grindy point be taken pause with a timeout call. Far side pid to Logan. We're just a little misfooting to keep the connection alive. Oh my goodness, that is a beautiful put into space, hitting Eric Faulkner in the place only he can be found. Logan with the goal.
And that is the first break of the game. It goes Young Legend's way. You can see there that he stands up and guns it. I think I heard a little bit of a slap, so I don't know whether that contact was with the hand and whether it was before or after this disc was released, but they both turned around to look at it, and as soon as they realized that it was bang on the money, there was a big slap of the hands between Logan and Masket on the mark. Felgner reels in the reception. First real blood in this game goes to Young Legends. 3-1 they lead.
Well, that's the second of these long old points, and this time it was Man Down's offensive line that were tested over and over. Young Legends squeaking out that break. I think perhaps the mark of Eric Felgner thought that that disc was going to not be kept up by Peter Logan, and he just exploited that opportunity to race downfield.
So Young Legends in a good position here. Game's already, it's getting up there. It's already nearly 20 minutes gone, only 4 points completed.
Well, there have been 15 turnovers in this game already, Benji.
It's weird because there were 2 points that were completely clean and 2 points that were, I'm trying to be diplomatic about this,
not
all over the place.
Indeed. One clean hold each, 2 dirty, 1 break and 1 hold. As we see a little bit of a poach off the handler, takes the upfield shot instead, does Appleby. Or Appleyard even. And number 35 for this Man Down side. High dish into the path. Oh, and that is a beautiful shot straight out of the arm of Joey Stewart. A lovely piece of smooth offense. This is almost like there's different teams appearing out here. We know we've got long rosters, but the difference between these tight, grindy points versus the just slick executions out here is like night and day.
I think it might be because the rosters are so large, you can afford after a point like that to completely change the personnel over. We saw early in the game they were continually looking for Travis Frazier deep and they just couldn't quite get those connections, but finally they put one bang on the money and Travis Frazier could not miss.
Yeah, after collecting so much sand in his shirt and shorts during that first point where they couldn't just seem to connect with the man. The Tacoma-based chap wearing number 19 is
yeah, up in the Pacific Northwest.
Indeed. Of course, Seattle Tacoma Airport. So
I must admit, having my experience of America is just going to Orlando and doing the Disney stuff and SeaWorld before we realised how unethical it was. So I can't even really say I've been to America, to be honest.
I did a brief stoppage in a layover in Tacoma for a couple of hours on my way out to Hawaii.
Were you playing Kaimana Classic out there?
I did play Kaimana Classic and it was great. Highly recommend it.
Not jealous.
Not even slightly. Hertel shoots from the far sideline. Maskell tries, but there's a little bump there. Just a little chat between those two players, but Volker Schmidt with the grab.
Yeah, Volker Schmidt is a key player for the Young Legends. 4 assists and 9 goals coming into this game.
And you can see that two probably of the tallest players on the pitch. A little cuddle there just after the chat. The Munich man with the goal for Young Legends. Well, that's just the holds. They lead that 1 break pass up 4-2.
Yeah, you can see what the thrower was thinking there. Put a little bit of air underneath it. Give the big man a chance to bring it down. I must admit, in trying to work out whether there was a foul or not, I completely forgot who the thrower was.
I believe it was Ingo Hertel.
It was indeed. Yeah, that tracks.
That tracks and tracked it down very well by Volker Schmidt. Great read.
I can hear it, by the way, Harris Mascot on the sideline saying, he's just too big. It's like, yeah, you can't teach Tool. I've tried learning on many occasions.
They're quite well matched for height, though, the two of them. We don't exactly know how tall Volker Schmidt is exactly, the 38 long career years he's been playing. Comes from the club side Gummy Bears and Mir Samir.
Gummy Bears, obviously, in Heidelberg. Lovely place. Thoroughly enjoyed the couple of times I've been there for Frisbee.
Absolutely. And we do like the German ultimate scene.
Yeah.
Especially on beach, of course. Sandstrom, that storied mixed program. And I think the Germans might have been the last to earn a gold medal against the USA in a final on beach, if I'm not mistaken. Coming out of Europe.
I feel like Russia women beat USA in 2017.
Not technically in Europe, are they?
No. That's a question for people higher up the pyramid than I.
That's accurate. And you see the cap there on Matt Schaff. We'll talk about that in a minute. We've got a little intel about his choice of headgear out here. Noonan thinks about the over the top, but the zony look from Young Legends posing some different questions at the moment. Man Down are responding well with excellent answers. Little jink pass in the centre to Middlebrook. Swings back. Again, the Noonans at the back. Oh, but I love that cheeky over the top. It looks like a scuba. And the connection for Man Down with ease eventually.
Absolutely love it. Go into the bag of tricks, see what you can pull out, keep the Young Legends on their toes, guessing on the force. And how can I find a way to elevate this over the mark?
Well, going all the way around the world with the fake.
And here we go. Noonan sees the options. He sees that space. How can I pop this over the top? A little elevator in there. Beautiful release on that.
Absolutely. Big fan of that. Finds Middlebrook for the goal. It looked, yeah, the way it sort of like just lofted up into the breeze and then sank down. Looked more like a scuba initially in the flight path. But yeah, just a, as you say, the elevator backhand toss.
So getting word from the scorekeepers that this is now the half-time cap. So we'll finish this point, add one, and that will be the half-time score cap. So we'll get 4 all, half at 5 or 5-3, half at 6.
Well, Young Legends being pinned to that far sideline, flying through goes Russ Fur, but comes out without any disc in his paws. Oh, and that's just an easy dish over the top for the Young Legends after the frantic defense. Ingo Hertel punching it into Anne-Kathrin Hochtmeier.
You can see there's a real buzz and energy around the showcase field here. The players who've wrapped up their morning games in the stands, both sides getting loud, obviously utilising the full depth of the roster to get the energy and the vibes going. Fun game out here. This is a killer low release against a very tight flat mark, maybe a little bit too tight there from Fur, finds Hertel and just continues that break side flow, popping that one out to Anne-Kathrin Hochtmeier, who's beaten Cash in towards that break side, and it's 5-3 Young Legends. See there the German flag in between the finish and, what would you call someone from Courier Islandish? Courier Islandese?
Well, it's the Courier Island flag.
That great nation that we've all been to many times.
That great hypothetical. It's a mirage, an oasis, a dreamland. It's whatever you want it to be.
It's one of my favourite countries that doesn't exist, certainly.
So, is that a half taken by Young Legends?
It will be at 6.
At 6, there we go. We've not seen that many timed halves happening on these sandy pitches here in Portimão, but thanks to our scorekeepers keeping everything nice and efficient with their whistles. Large and in charge. So, Noonan. Little pass to her husband. As two solid anchors at the back. Inside shot's going to get away from Haskell.
Yeah, it's just a little bit behind him.
I say, that was almost a bit of woosion there. Harris Maskett. Don't know why I called him Haskell. But Young Legends on the attack, popping back to Achenbach. Looking for a reset. It's the lefty dish across to Hermeking. High one, well kept by Fatal. Oh, but he throws into the poach almost, but a great recovery from Shunk. I thought that was going to be picked off for sure, but it's not. It's the break for Young Legends to take half.
And that is halftime, as you mentioned. Shunk punching it into Bircher for the score. I think maybe there was a tip on that on the mark, but not enough, clearly, to prevent this disc from Vital getting home. You can see it there that it's macked on, and past the bidding Maskett, Pirelli stands firm and then just leads this one into the end zone. Not the prettiest throw he'll ever make, but it got the job done. 6-3 Young Legends lead at half.
Well, the double unhappiness there for Harris Maskett after having the drop in the centre of that zone. That one trying to slice through, then not being able to make the most of the sensational hand block.
You saw the halftime stats there as well. You wonder how much Man Down are ruining that first point where they turned the Young Legends O-line over 4 times, but just couldn't find a way to punch in that break.
So Man Down really need to get themselves back up into this game. Nice moves at the far sideline. Joey Stewart taking the disc all the way around the head of his mark, like an halo almost. Fur in the centre to Cashin. Grant Cashin with a lovely lead pass to Pletcher. This is good dishing and going. Although a brief moment of static. Pletcher. Trying to tap that break side, throws his mark into the floor. Not taken for that reset as he goes up line. Oh, a high one popped up, but well kept by Fur, and then he's just going to shoot it into the front pocket. And that's a nice smooth hold, and Travis Frazier connects another goal.
Yeah, we know that Frazier is a formidable end zone target if you can just get the positioning on the throws right. It's a lovely start to this second half. 4 Man Down just flowing their way down the field, trying to keep these still counts low, dishing it off, bouncing it between one another. This was maybe the diciest moment, that little lead one there that does pop up, but Fur gets up nice and early, reads it well, and then with the defender out of position, having made the attempt to knock that away, simple flow into the end zone for the score.
Well,
now for Man Down, can they get the breaks? Sorry, Hannah.
No, it's all right. You literally, we are in sync, Benji, doing all these games together. It's exactly it. This is now where Man Down desperately needs to punch a defensive break in. At the moment, they're trailing the 2 versus Young Legends, who just come out with a little bit of an extra fire. They say you make your own luck, Benji. At the moment, it is Young Legends in the kitchen cooking up a storm.
It's nice when you've got that synchronicity with your partner, because the key to any good commentary partnership is, of course,
saying the same thing as each other.
Timing.
Well, an easy opportunity here for Man Down. Potentially enviable field position after the quick turn from Young Legends. And there we go. The first one bounced in. Can they get the break train rolling through the station?
That is exactly what they needed. Just a complete miscommunication off the pool. The throw going to, well, no one. And for Man Down, this was the opportunity. Shunk leading it towards the break side, and there's no one there. And Man Down doing the right thing. They want to strike while the iron is at its hottest. Noonan quickly outside the end zone to Middlebrook. Middlebrook's looking for the option, and it's the little dish slashing forward there from Ian Appleyard. That makes it 6-5.
Well, a complete breakdown of pretty much everything there for Young Legends. The miscue on the first pass, but then also, Benji, complete lack of communication on defense. Man down didn't have to work hard at all to just punch that one. It was just a, oh, you're free. Oh, you're also free. Oh, brilliant. Great. Goal. Happy days.
Someone on the man down sideline said that was a gift, and I do not disagree with them.
Well, man down will take it, unwrap it, rip that ribbon off. As we see Logan going to the sand to keep possession alive. Nice easy layout, clap catch. Oh, trying to put his hand right in the basket. Joey Stewart with accepted foul immediately, trying to steal the disc away from Tim Kolstad.
Yeah, he knew what he did and fessed up to it quickly. Sun, by the way, beginning to beat down now here in Portimão.
Indeed, temperature rising. And is that one going to be in or out of bounds? It was a fantastic hero catch for Volker Schmidt.
People on the sideline seem to be indicating that he's out, maybe. It's a really aggressive break shot across the field. And when is the catch made?
Well, if you dig your foot in and drag the tape with you, then you are in bounds. We've had a request to look at our replay.
Probably better. If you want to have a look, you're probably better off coming behind us, I think.
Indeed, we'll try and get one from each team to come and have a look at, review this one in slow-mo. So great camera work from Chips there to just find it. So there's 1 foot, 2 foot, clap catch. Is that underneath the tape? Dragging the pitch with him.
But is it okay if it's underneath?
If the foot's underneath the tape, the rule is that it's inbounds. It's whether or not he stabbed under it or ended up trailing over it, which obviously only he will know, Benji.
It's the thing is, with the sand coming up, it's difficult quite to tell. I think they might end up contesting this and sending it back, which, I'll be honest, it's that close. I don't hate it as a result.
Indeed. Well, as I say, Volker Schmidt is the only one who could really tell us whether or not he dug his feet under the tape or not. But as you say, Benji, if you don't know, send it back. And that seems to be the outcome of that one. But huge catch from Volker Schmidt. So immediately going for goal and overshooting Ingo Hertel. Such a reliable target for Young Legends. And man down will get the opportunity for a break here. Frazier looking around for resets. Bit frantic now. High one into the air. Again, another high catch for Rusfer. Owning the skies right now. Going to squeak one through to Appleyard. Is poaching off Rusfer in the backspace. Jamie Cashin. Oh, scooping low backhand, trails into the dust. Joey Stewart unable to extend and keep the disc alive. So Young Legends with it back. Hertel striking deep. Iman looking around for options. Shoots the zipper down to Kolstad. That's a big break around. Lofted out into the air. Oh, and Rusfer knocks it out of contention. He's been really great in the sky, has Rusfer today.
The Stewart-Hertel matchup has been fascinating to watch. That one just put too much loft and float on it, and it allowed the imposing figure of Rusfer to close that gap.
Indeed, using every inch of his 6'4" frame.
Kolstad looks out on his feet there.
Appleyard having to wait for the opportunity. Rusfer, ever reliable. Has a bit of a poach off on the around. Isn't looking for it though, just shoots it high into the air and a sky ball ripped down, but there's a big collision.
Yeah, another, it's just a hospital pass. Yeah, it's the sort of thing where it floats. It invites all that contact underneath it. It almost feels inevitable there's going to be some sort of collision.
Yeah, I'm not sure really that Joey Stewart had he came in behind the pack. Not sure he really had the position to make a play there. But as you say, it's all about this high floaty pass from Rusfer, inviting But thankfully, I think everyone staying on the pitch, all good. Emerging from the sand after a little breather. And the turnover will, of course, stand.
This point feels like a big momentum shifter, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. Well, if man down could have punched in that break, we would have been back on serve. Kolstad. High one, arcing and blading across the field, under-read by the defence. Hertel knew exactly where that one was going. Expends and goes around, and you see the little cheeks go out there as he went to lay that one out. I think that's another goal for Volker Schmidt. After making that huge reception, he just rolls around into the sand.
Schmidt and Hertel are such key pieces for this side. We mentioned how Schmidt had 4 assists and 9 goals coming into this game. 9 goals as well for Hertel, but 11 assists. So you can see, if you want to try and upset this young legend side, those are the players you have to try and shut out. And Man Down did a very good job, but if you give them enough chances, eventually young legends are going to get you.
Volker Schmidt looking quite tired. He put in the shift during that point. Hello to the Schmidt family watching at home. Glad to have you alongside us. So eventual will hold 2 turnovers apiece. But 7-5 young legends out in front, trading forward. So Maskett off the brick pull. Has Leah Lunan behind him. She says, you can just throw it to me. Because that poach in the lane. Noonan. Mr. Noonan's going to shoot it deep. That's going to go high, though, and over the head of Jim Middlebrook.
Just didn't get the sit on that he was clearly looking for. The idea is to just put that out into the back of the end zone and just have it hover there. So Middlebrook can chase it down, but it just kept on going and then sunk rather than keeping that nice sort of loft on it.
Yeah, you sort of put plenty of spin on that disc and sort of almost just softly nudge it out into that open space that Middlebrook had created with his cut.
Just tap it in.
So Shunk finds space across the field. Not entirely sure where the force is for this man down side, but that's going to go underneath Claudia Hermaking. She lays out to try and attack it because they didn't have quite enough oomph. Noonan, though, trying to lead it down the far sideline, lost for options under the match pressure of the Germans.
Yeah, didn't get enough of an inside-out shape on that one. Made it outside in, so it's always going away from that player running through onto it, rather than if you get the inside out, it is going to naturally just sit and hang into space.
Yeah, again, really difficult to execute, especially that awkward sort of, you know, to the side, trying to really extend that elbow up. You can catch yourself in a bad way if you're not careful. But some poaching off of the defensive man down. And a yelp from the near sideline. That one's going to go out into the space for Shunk. Very nice indeed. Escaping the mark of Matt Schaff. Oh, and that's just beautifully weighted. It's a break for Young Legends. They retake their 2-break lead in this game.
Yeah, Klaus, Pirelli, Shunk finding Butcher in the end zone again, just as they did on that break. That took Young Legends into a 6-3 half-time lead. We're going to see it now on the replay. Here's the deep shot to Shunk and gets it outside the end zone. Good hustle. Birch is the first player there, and he's one-on-one in the end zone. And Middlebrook does no eyes on the disc at all, so it's such a difficult position when you do that. Just has to lead. All he has to do is lead the receiver into space, because Middlebrook's just reacting off Birch's movement, and he's never going to be able to close that gap in time.
What I really like about this Young Legends team, actually, Benji, is the flexibility with which they're happy to play the roles. Klaus Schunk, of course, shooter's going to shoot, but he's happy to run through and actually get away from his mark. That sort of unpredictable, well, you know what, if you're gonna try and take the disc away from me, I'm just gonna run deep and rinse you by about 3 meters.
As you might expect for a man called Pirelli, he's got wheels when he wants them.
Well, currently residing in Munich, he started in Karlsruhe. And a lesser-known club side, Benji, the Searching Woodpeckers he's played for. As we see the disc get away from Russ Fur, tries to make the hero redemption, but Hertel picking it up. Felgner hanging around in the swing space, but he's going to take a huge hammer over the top. That is sensational. Ingo Hertel hurting this man down, pushing them further underground into the sand.
But Pletcher had such other ideas after the turnover, determined to get it back and lays out to get the block.
You know what? I thought that had been caught. I don't know what's wrong with me. Hertel trying to get it back after that huge hammer over the top. Tell you what, if that had come off though, perhaps player of the tournament. Space in the deeps, coming under is Cash. Cash in cut. Looking around. Appleyard. Oh, and that's a lovely little find just behind the back, but spins around goes Stewart. Again, sort of holding the disc and moving it around the head of his mark. Gets a little bit of contact there as he goes for the low release. Jens Schonenberg falling to the dust. Perhaps a little bit too much touching, but a lot of clustering around the disc right now for man down. Hopefully they can find a bit more space and confidence, because they really need this hold. Boy, oh boy.
I'd be tempted to just get it out of there, just go backwards. Just don't play in such a congested space. Or you could just push past it into the end zone.
Well, Appleyard staying in space, very quiet, just like, he'll see me, and collecting the goal. It's the hold for man down, but they are currently allowing the Germans to just pile the sand on top of them with this 8-6 lead.
There's the layout D on the hammer from Pletcher to get the turn back. On the high stall, can they find an option? Trying to get the inside out break through that tough mark of Schoenberg. Not able to do so. And eventually, a little bit of sneakiness from Appleyard gets the score. Appleyard lists his sporting hero as the greatest base stealer of all time, Ricky Henderson, who, according to Ricky Henderson, is the greatest baseball player of all time. Ricky Henderson is, by the way, amazing. There are so many good Ricky Henderson stories. I'll have to tell you some of them off air.
Absolutely, Benji. But Joey Stewart there punching in the assist. The high school science teacher hailing from Forest Knolls. Started in the mid-1990s. Of course, from Mill Valley, home of Joe Montana. Another sporting legend, but out of the American football scene. A little wave there from Matt Schaff, wearing his presidential cap. We chatted to him about that earlier.
Vote Ross Perot, the most successful third-party candidate in an election for the best part of 100 years. At one point, back in June '92, he was running against George Bush Sr. and Clinton. He was actually ahead in the polls about half a year before the election.
My goodness.
I know. Didn't work out in the end. Highest vote share, I think, for a third-party candidate, but didn't actually pick up any electoral college seats.
Indeed, that two-party system coming out of the States does make it quite hard for independent, but right now it is young legends who don't need any assistance. They're independent in this game, leading 8-6, coming out on offense. Achenbach in the underspace. Fatal working hard to try and grind up the far sideline. That's going to bobble out of the arm of Klaus Schunk. No call there on the defense, but immediate. Was that immediate? No, was that redeemed, Benji?
It was. Bircher managed to get his hand underneath it with the resurrection, and now they're looking deep. And Achenbach has it for the score.
Oh, well, I tell you what, I was so focused to see if there'd be a call between Klaus Schunk and Jim Middlebrook. I missed that redemption shot over the top.
Well, do you want to have another look at it?
Oh, I do.
You can see that it is tight pressure, but Bircher does not give it up, and he does get that. Just about gets the trailing edge before the front side hits the sand, fakes the backhand, goes towards the far side, and Vital points and rips it. And Achenbach's on the receiving end in the end zone, and that makes it 9-6 to Young Legends in a game to 10.
Well, I thought that was down and out for the count, and I think perhaps some of the man-down players were with me there, Benji. 2 targets in the end zone and only the one little white shirt to try and play defense. Jens Achenbach picking up his first goal of the game. He's had a quiet one today.
Yeah, but Young Legends have enough strength in depth that big players like Achenbach don't necessarily need to have the biggest game, and they can still get it done. Young Legends just 1 point away from going back to the final and trying to improve on that silver medal they won last year on the Sardinian sands.
Well, 2 teams having to grind it out in their quarter-final matchups. Man down, maybe needed to take on a little bit of extra sugar for breakfast this morning, but Russ first swings across to Appleyard. We saw them go 4 on the bounce in their semi-final matchup. Let's see if they can find a similar form in the late stages of this game. Cashin pops back. Having taken a break, a hiatus from playing Ultimate to start his family. Nice to see Grant Cashin back, but that's going to be a huge disc into the end zone. There is a lead, there is space, there is huge pressure from the defense. Is there going to be a call, Benji? That was a great play from Logan.
He did really well to get close to it. There is the foul. It's going to be called on the deep put from Fair, I think. You can see it here on the replay.
Yeah, just skims that right hip, I think, as he comes through and makes that layout bid. It's going to be accepted, so possession on the goal line for Paul Schiess. We'll go Schiess.
We'll go Schiess.
Sounds a lot less like a German swear, but there's nothing vulgar about this offense right now. Oh my goodness, I said there was nothing vulgar, but that was dirty. The release on that inside break backhand, my goodness.
That is utter disgusting filth from Grant Cashin, and I am so here for it. How do you find that window? It's not a window.
It's almost like a reverse knife.
Let's have a look at it again. There's 2 things here, the vision and also that wicked quick release, the angle into Appleyard is sumptuous. The kids back home, Fiona and Michael, hopefully enjoying that one as much as we are. Although, I must admit, if I was a kid, I think I'd probably find maybe more flashy things to see on YouTube.
But we're glad to have you with us, ulti.TV, keeping Ultimate coverage free to watch live and on demand. I know the players have been watching these games back and enjoying our coverage. And if you want to become a patron of ours to support us and help us keep bringing these tournaments to you, you can do so. Go to patreon.com/ulti.tv, or if you're watching live, you can shove a super chat or a super sticker. Jens Achenbach rinsing free, nobody anywhere near him. This, of course, would put Young Legends into the finals. Dishing back to Feidel. Can man down find a stand? Oh, that one I think might have been just clutched on the goal line on the tape. So, not quite yet. Hamilton swings back. Oh, it's a find, but it's going to be falling over into the sand. So close, but yet so far. Gunther Strub not able to clutch that one.
It was there if he hadn't been gobbled by the sand monster.
So, an opportunity here for man down. They really just have to conserve the disc. Oh, but almost a bit of commentator's curse. Travis Fraser tries to connect with Jamie Cashin.
The sideline you could hear going, chill baby, chill baby, chill baby, and they couldn't just quite get chilly enough.
Well, the pass was a bit nul as it tried to reach the former French teacher, now retiree. Shunk having a chat with Middlebrook, perhaps a bit too much of a tight force. Asking for his disc space. Oh, straddle, there you go. Bit of a straddle call. Cheeky little leg hump. But Klaus Shunk with the arm. Hopefully man down can prevent anyone escaping into the deep space like we saw that previous channel of offense with Achenbach given miles of space. Perhaps man down trying to do some creative switching in the deep space to stifle this offense. Hermiking. Oh, it's going to be a sky ball, but the falling over defense. But it still needs to be a secondary catch for Feidel. The pressure rising in this semi-final match. A stall out called by Travis Frazier. Just communicating with the players downfield.
Yeah, on a high stall, punt it deep. The blade goes over Strub's head, but Pirelli's alert to mop up at the back.
Yeah, he was able to say the word stall even before the disc was released.
Yeah, hit that T of 10.
And an accepted stall out. You can see Joey going to pick the disc up. Just had Travis in front of him. Oh, a lovely low catch to keep possession alive for Travis Frazier. Stewart now. Again, going around the head of his mark with the disc. Oh, and it's a beautiful toss pass. Travis Frazier picks up another goal, and it's off the palm of Daryl Noonan. Another high sort of elevator release backhand. And man down, bring themselves within one of Universe Point. Are they going to do it, Benji?
They're trying their utmost. That one was somehow rescued off the sand earlier in the point by Hermiking. Unable to do anything with it this time. A little bit of a floater. Defenders on the floor, and that gives Vital time to get it at the second attempt. But Vital couldn't get the disc out of his hands in time. And here's the turn, the score, that layout down the sideline. Keeping it inbounds is Frazier, going across the end zone. You can see Joey there. He's got that concussion band going around his cap. Obviously something that he's wary of as well. Got to try and protect that brain of his. And then Daryl Noonan punching it in to Travis Frazier for his third goal of the game. Man down just within one. Could this semi-final be going all the way?
Oh, well, we of course are completely bipartisan here in the booth. We just want to see more Ultimate being played. And it would be fun to see this one go down to Universe. But Young Legends with the disc in hand. Kolstadt moves across immediately to Immen. Hertel. Looking around for his reset, a little bit lost. Pinned, he's going to just launch it into the space. Oh my goodness, of course, it's the big man, Volker Schmidt with the goal, and Young Legends will be in the final. Can they better their silver medal? I don't know, we'll have to find out later today, Benji, but my goodness, the arms on Volker Schmidt today, he's on fire.
What a way to seal another final berth here for the Young Legends. After coming up short last year, they might have the opportunity to improve that again this year. Hertel wanting the swing into the center. He's not seeing it, so why not just lash it deep? Defenders out of position, and the reaching, diving snag is sensational from Volker Schmidt. And Young Legends with a 10-8 win. We'll see you in the final this afternoon. For man down, it's a second consecutive appearance in the bronze medal match. After coming up short to Team Finland, they will see if they can go home with the bronze medal.
Well, a bit of dirty goals, no bad thing. Ingo Hertel, no goals for him this game, but plenty of assists, happy to distribute it downfield. And I've been really enjoying watching the Russ Fur Volker Schmidt matchup. Two tall gentlemen. Russ had some great high receptions, as did Volker. But in the end, it was Young Legends who took charge of the game early stages. Those two breaks, they sat pretty in the first half. Man down ground, two back, second And of course that late stage attempt to advance, but of course that third and commanding break for Young Legends. They won the toss, they came out on offense and punched it in after that grinder of an 8 turnover point to open this semi-final up. It was them in charge the whole time, but man down, credit to themselves. They played really, really well, Benji. And should we take a look at some of the highlights of this one?
I think that sounds like a very good idea, Hannah.
Indeed. So a bit of dog cam.
2 more. I will tell you now, by the way, the crew keep a tally of good dogs we've seen on stream, so doubling it up there. But onto the more important action, if I may say so. That frenetic first point with 4 turnovers aside, eventually Young Legends clutching it out. If Man Down had been able to get that break to start the game, it could have been looking at a very different encounter, but Young Legends just about held firm.
Yeah, they had a little bit of extra something did Young Legends at the opener of this game. They had a couple of moments where it seemed like Lady Luck just favoured them that teensy bit more as the sun started to appear here on the pitches in Portimão after the inclement weather. That redemption catch there for Flik, just keeping his eyes on the prize, sitting it up into the wind. But Man Down really tried on defense. They had a couple of miscommunications, I think some blown switches, Benji, that really just allowed Young Legends to power through and own the deep space.
Yeah, it'll be frustrating for Man Down, who would have felt that they had the strength of the roster, the numbers to really challenge for the crown this year, but they'll have to pick themselves up, dust themselves down, and see if they can do it next time they take to the sands, wherever that may be.
And they will be matching up against Hertz. It was a close scoreline in the other semi-final. Team America advancing 8-6 over their fellow USA teammates. Sorry, they're not teammates, playing on different teams. But it will be Man Down versus Hurt in terms of deciding who takes away that bronze medal. And Young Legends, Team America, is it going to be the rematch of our dreams?
It is the rematch of last year's final. We would love to see if they can do it, get it all the way again in that game.
Well, Team America have been pretty dominant here at the Great Grandmasters level for quite a few championships, but we will be bringing you the Ninals final very, very soon on this live stream.
Yeah, not quite as long a break today, so we can fit everything in. At 2 o'clock local time, that game starts. We've got the bronze medal match at 3 between Man Down at Hurt, and then the big one, the final, takes place at 4 o'clock local time. That one is a rematch of last year's final, Young Legends versus America.
But West Coast Leger, our next game on this stream, as we see that huge hammer that I thought initially had been a goal, but well defended by Mark Pletcher, knocking it into the sand. And of course that again snuck away from my view, the redemption catch. Shout out, of course, to the players that can't be here across this division. There are a number of individuals missing from their personnel. Of course, for Man Down, a big shout out to the heart and the soul, respectively, of this team, Colin Smith and Stephen Lebonge, who opened up those 2 roster spots late stages for this tournament. Hopefully they can come back to the sand for next season. But in the end, Young Legends advancing over Man Down, 10-8 the score.
And there's that final score. Brilliant grab from Volker Schmidt to ice the game.
So there we have it, our finalists determined. It's going to be a German-American final. Not a just all, and I think that's quite exciting, Benji. It's nice to see a little bit of European action in the top spot, but looking at the shape of that game, so close the margins. The only difference is the number of turnovers given.
Yeah, one more for Man Down that gave Young Legends the extra break. And with the Germans beginning the game on offense as well, that gives you a 2-point margin of victory.
So a game of Almost 2 different teams for each side coming out on the pitch. We had some real long grindy points, some real smooth silky holds, but that's going to wrap up our coverage of this semi-final in the championship bracket. Join us very, very soon, 11 o'clock local time. I take that back. Why is my watch saying 12?
Yeah, because it's just hit 12 o'clock.
There we go, 12 o'clock. What am I doing? It's 2 o'clock local time that we're going to be seeing that third
It is
game.
indeed, yes.
Oh, the schedule changes, messing with my noggin, Benji. But join us at 2 o'clock local time in 2 hours. So grab yourself some food, you know, to give yourself some time to digest, bring your energy levels back up. We're going to have West Coast of Sweden versus Leggett from France in the Ninals match. Well, for myself, Hannah Pendlebury, for Benji Reese, for all of our tireless, stalwart ulti.TV production crew. Excellent work on camera operations and in the booth. We will see you for more on the other side.
Right now, he's gonna have to bid. Just a football.
Huge layout block. Unbelievable stuff on the front corner of the end zone.
Maybe just that boost of energy they needed. Huge swing pass and a great grab there from Spear.
The ultimate things in life are free, and we're keeping it that way. Subscribe to keep up with the latest games, tournaments, and community content. Share it with your team and friends, and drop a like to help spread Ultimate to more people. Spread the word, spread the love. Ulti.TV.
We believe mixed is the best for the sport, for the world. That's why we're making a global showcase, starting in Europe, made in Amsterdam. Ulti-League. Ulti.net.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with Ulti.TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
Don't want to miss anything?
There are loads of tournaments happening, which you can attend either as a player or a spectator. You can find them on UltiCal, link in the description.
Ulti.TV, BUCC lyrical.
Merci beaucoup.
ulti.TV.